You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Welcome back to I Am Refocused Radio. We are here once again, and today we have another show lineup for y'all. We have a returning guest. We met her back in 2022, Lisetty Sandoval. She is an award-winning filmmaker, and if you're watching us online, we're going to have a little ticker tape that you can see all the information on her. But she has a movie, the Penelope's story. You can go to the website that you see right there below us, Penelope's story, movie.com. She is going to share with us some amazing new updates, because 3 years, it feels like it's short, but it's still a lot of time to have a lot of updates. So congrats to you. This first thing I want to say, because I heard some news before we even started the show that not only has the film grown, but now it's being seen in a lot of places, a lot of different platforms. So I'm excited to kind of unpack what has been going on. So first and foremost, I want to say to you, Lisetty, thank you for being with us today. How are you doing?
Thank you so very much for having me, to your audience, for having me back again. I'm doing great. So very excited to share this news with you.
For those who are new and they don't know much about the film, kind of unpack that first and give us the backstory. What prompted you to do this particular project?
Yes, definitely. So Penelope's story is about the rebirth of a victim of sex trafficking. It's about a strong-willed teenage tormented 3 years of sexual slavery. She wants to escape her bondages, but her newfound faith must be tested to break the cycle of abuse. But the focus of the film is mainly on the journey that someone takes from victim to becoming the hero of your own life. And so that's mainly what the story is about.
When you look at just reflecting 3 years ago, we introduced this film to our audience to now, 3 years later, you have a lot going on. So to do it justice, tell the audience what has happened with the growth of the film and where can they now find it?
Yeah, so the film has been a great journey, great success. It started in the film festival round. It was seen in Ottawa, Canada. It was in LA. It was in Rome, Italy, New York. It is in Toronto as well, and it's just been so overwhelming, the audience response to the film, and it landed all the way to distribution. And now I have the great news that it has been picked up by Amazon Prime Video. It's going to be showing in July of this year, and then now it's also streaming and an online platform, Fossum TV. And this is an online platform as well that is worldwide viewership, and you can watch it for free. That's the best part of it. So I'm very excited about that and sharing this film with you.
Now, that's exciting news, because I can't speak for anybody, but I'll speak for myself. If I was a filmmaker, that will make me go crazy. Like, that's so cool to hear. Now, you got to share the beans a little bit. What was the process like for you promoting this film? Because it wasn't like it just magically was invited to all these platforms. What did that process look like for you?
It was very, I guess, like a transformation for me, a spiritual journey in a way. I remember telling you why this film is so close to me, and the reason why this film is so close to me is because the spiritual journey that my main protagonist, Penelope, goes through, it also makes a reflection to my own personal journey on how I was able to overcome mental abuse. So going through the promotion and saying this out loud, it was almost like a healing process to me, that in a way I was like also be able to finish the film with that certainty that I was being able to turn my mess into my message. And I feel like that connected me with the audience as well. Being live, showing the screenings, doing a Q&A with the audience and hearing their comments back to me, that was fulfilling for me. So it has been a revelation to me, the distribution process of the film. But it was definitely a lot of tears, a lot of happiness as well, a lot of doubt as well. But, it's just climbing that. And I give God thanks for that, because definitely I could not do it without him.
And you said a key word moments ago, how faith, it plays a crucial role in Penelope's journey, but also personally in your whole role in getting this film out there to the masses. How have you learned or reflected on how you portray faith on the screen in ways that are authentic and not so preachy?
That's true. That's so true. I feel like I had been given a mission as a filmmaker to how can I make this entertaining, in the sense of I can attract everybody, not just a particular audience, also be respectful, but also showing faith without being preachy, like you said, because unfortunately in the film industry behind cameras, I can say that I've been hearing Christian films usually are very boring, one-noted, storyline, and I wanted to break that through. And I feel like that's one of the main reasons why it was so hard for me to find funding at the beginning, because of that. I'm like, no, I have a different vision. I'm gonna still make it entertaining, follow the rules of script writing, but yet I still wanna show the faith. And it wasn't so much about telling the faith, but showing the faith. And that's what makes Penelope's story different. And people can relate to it. So it's not preachy, it's not hammering the message to you. And I feel like that was the journey that made me feel like, okay, this can be done. I did it. Let's do it again. Yeah.
Once again, listen, I Am Refocused Radio, watching us online, talking to our guest today, Lisetty Sandoval, award-winning filmmaker. Go to the movie that we're talking about, the website, PenelopeStoryMovie.com. When you think about the process of directing, let's kind of talk about that. How do you find the balance between telling hard truths and also giving the audience hope?
Wow. So I guess for directing, I have to, in this case, for the main protagonist, it was a bit harder for her to get into the emotion. So I have to bring her back to her own memories as well and try to relate to her, giving her a background, telling her why I made that film. And I feel like that made it easier for me to relate with the actors, what they needed to portray on camera and how it's going to show to the audience that's going to be seeing it. Like, we were always trying to strip ourselves from, it's not about me, it's about who's watching it, who's going to watch it, that little girl, that young woman, that young man that's going to watch this film. And having that mission for me as a filmmaker is to empower people to become the best versions of themselves through my films or whatever art I make. And so I try to put that in this project as well. And it ties in with the mission. So I guess the directing part of it had to be solely attached to why I'm making this film, to convey not only bringing the conscious part of it, like to bring attention to what's happening here in Canada, but also as well and worldwide. And then also to convey feelings of faith, hope, and forgiveness to anyone who have gone through any kind of abuse.
What's cool about this whole interview is that the growth from 3 years ago to now, I mean, you can say you're a big shot, but you're very humble, and I appreciate that. But I want to ask, what was some of the prior training experiences just being in the industry? Because obviously you met some people that probably gave you some wisdom or show you some things that prepare you for this magnitude of success.
Yeah, so that's great. So I did have training. I went to Humber College for film and television production. I did 2 short films, and the remaining portion of it, I guess it was just watching films that touch my heart and be like, I want to do that. And then I thought one day, why not just do it? But I guess I learned the most is by actually putting hands on making this film. I feel like the 2 years that I did on film school was not enough. Like, I learned most of my craft making this major film and collaborating with amazing filmmakers as well that had the same mindset as mine, that we're doing this, to share a message of hope and to break boundaries, like breaking stereotypes as well. Also, mainly because, in the industry, I was seen as like, well, you're female, this is your first feature, you only done how many 2 short films? Like, that's not enough. Like, who's gonna give you money to make this film? So that my why is what drove me to like, okay, well, then I'll have to self-finance it myself. If that's the case, 70% of it was self-financed, 30% was donations and people that actually believed in me, the crew, the stars that in the film are actors. So it was just an amazing experience going through the process and how I was being mentored at the same time while mentoring as well. So it was a nice circle, I would say.
You mentioned moments ago, earlier in our conversation, that your mission is to empower people through film. And with that in mind, the work that you're continuously being steward over, how does it feel for your opportunity now to be in some very big platforms showcasing your work? And what will be your message to other women filmmakers out there?
That don't give up. Don't allow anyone say no to you, that you can do something. And if you're going to hear it, then use that as fuel. That you're going to be doing what you say you're going to do. And I just want to say that you came out of God. Don't try to do it without him, because it's going to be 10 times harder. Believe me, I tried. But somehow you just always go back to your source. And that's what is going to keep you going, because you're going to encounter a lot of difficulties. It's never easy when you're trying to follow your dreams. But if you have that courage and allow yourself to fail if you have to fail, like in terms of like, you fall down, get back up, because a failure is only when you give up completely. But if you just, you fall, you learn from that experience and you keep going and you change the route that you were taking. As long as you don't change your goal, you're just changing your plan to get there, you eventually will get there. And then God is so good when you take a leap of faith. You got to bet on yourself. Don't give up. And don't you give up, because your story matters. Your voice matters. And that's what you have to always remember, and going back to, why am I doing this? Don't put your dreams on hold for someone else, or because someone else tells you no at this time. And I know that you're going to achieve amazing things. Just have to trust God and believe in yourself.
I love what you said about putting yourself in that equation of, I'm going to not just bet on myself, I'm going to do whatever it takes for me to reach that next level, and whatever that looks like for you personally. You're now in an industry where people are starting to wake up and look at you, just starting to look at your work. Mm-hmm. What has been your experience recently, just being the industry itself? Have you had more people tap your shoulder and pick your brain or spark conversation? What has been the reaction for you personally?
Amazing. And in the film industry, it's now like, you're getting noticed for sure. And it feels very humbling. I'm like, really, me? Oh, okay, sure. But yes, and it feels great to give back because when I was trying to get it done on my own, it was hard, but there were only like maybe 2 or 3 really wise men in my life, and women as well, that pushed me and helped me to complete Penelope's story. And then I was able to give back to others. That also feels so great. And it also feels gratifying, the knowing that, okay, I've been complimented. I've been asked to work on other projects because of my project. And it definitely feels really great. Even the International New York Film Festival, they nominated film Penelope's story for Best Feature, but then they changed the award on the day, and they gave me the award for Best Female Filmmaker. And I was like, whoa, I was not expecting that. But that was like a huge validation for me. It was like, I can do this. I mean, I was made to do this, and this is what comes to me natural. And any chance that I get to mentor another person that is starting just as me is an honor. And if I can give a little bit of me, it just feels so good, that someone is looking up to me, and I want to be that good role model for them too.
Well, we're going to be pushing this far and wide so that everyone can have a chance to not just learn about this film, but learn about you. And it's crazy just to, like I said, what can happen in 3 years. We talked in 2022, and you were introducing this project, and now, I mean, not to push it, but you're going to be on Amazon. I mean, that's an awesome thing to see, especially as someone who's on the outside seeing a filmmaker chase their dream, and more importantly, doing something for a positive cause that I believe will impact millions. I feel like you haven't even scratched the surface of what you are doing. This is probably just a preview of what will become the norm, in my opinion. When you look at the future of filmmaking, especially with your career, what do you see is possible for you now that you've met some certain mile markers in your career? What's next for you?
Wow. Yeah, so I feel like I can do it all. and it's all because God is there, like the source of it. And I have 2 other projects in the pipeline that I'll be pitching. And there's a documentary series and also another feature film. I'm going to be being mentored by other producers in the industry as well. So it is looking good, and I feel very happy that I'm able to embrace it. Because to be honest with you, once I finished Penelope's story, I was like, okay, what now? And I dipped down a little. I was feeling like, is this all it is? Like, I achieved it, now what? So I had to get back again to this long journey. It doesn't end here. It's just starting, like you just said. And I figured it out on my own. Now I'm willing to embrace it. I'm like, okay, let's go for the next project. Even if it's also as scary as this one, I know I can do it. Like, it gives me so much confidence to go into these other 2 projects, and I'm very excited about them too.
It's something human of what you just said about you still having those feelings. Like, okay, this is what it feels like when the confetti drops, but what next? Like, I almost feel like when I was in my amateur days, like, I almost feel like, what am I going to do now? And I think that's very real. And I think what you're saying, a lot of people should push and say, because sometimes when you look at a person that's a major name in the film industry, you just assume that, oh, it must be nice to be, so and so. This illustrates something I think is very important. So I want you to talk to, well, we got some time left, to the younger filmmakers out there about trusting the process, because you said it. Even if you reach the top, you're still going to be questioning yourself, and you still have to think about the long-term game.
That's right. Yeah. So once you do that, I feel like, like you said, you just trust the process, enjoy it. And the way I see it now, I hear from one of my mentors that he said, you look at the mango seed, but you don't see the plant yet, but you want mango seeds. And especially in this instant gratification world that we live in, and it's not real. You have to wait. You have to wait until the tree grows from that seed. And I believe that that's where the processes start. And you're going to grow not only as a filmmaker, or as an artist, you are going to grow as a person as well. You're going to feel so more mature spiritually as well, that you're going to be like, wow, okay, now that I'm here, I'm ready to go to the next level. And celebrate, celebrate your success. Don't let it be a journey of 5 years and then celebrate it for 10 minutes and then forget about it. Because I feel like sometimes we are too hard on ourselves. And we should also give ourselves the credit that we put in the effort, and we're going to celebrate it, whatever that may be. And I find that once I celebrate it with others and hearing the feedback from other people, that to me is a celebration. It makes me feel like, wow, I put all that effort, but it was worth it. It was worth it. And if I have to do it again just for this particular result, I'll do it again, because it's just so gratifying to know that you have helped someone with your craft, with your art, and you just did it because it came out of you. It's just you in this case as a film, and it has a message for everybody. I feel like that's what I've been noticing, that everybody has their own take on, like, this your film gave me this, or I was healed on this part. And it's like a little box of little messages with your name on it. Every person that's seen it has a different take on it. And I feel like that's the most part that I celebrate the most. The journey gave a huge result.
My next question, last one, will be kind of two parts, but it'll come full circle. And that is, what have you learned so far being in this film industry about business and also networking, and how has that helped shape your perspective?
Wow, that's a very interesting question, and I feel like it's very important to know, especially if you're trying to be in this type of industry. I noticed that the industry is very niche oriented. Like, you have to find your crowd. Don't try to be on everything at once just because you want to network. You have to still hone down and protect that gift that God has given you, and that's your vision. Otherwise, you're going to be being pulled left and right by several people giving you different types of visions, and that's how you lose yourself. And it does in that very fine line where, like, oh, fame and I want to have 10,000 people as friends. I'm like, that's an illusion. It is an illusion, because at one point I did feel like I was losing myself again. I'm like, this is not what I want to do. I find out myself in an event where I saw all different kinds of artists, and I felt odd. I felt like a fish out of water. And I'm like, I should feel grateful and awesome feeling being among all these type of different artists, but I just didn't belong. And I'm like, this is not for me. And once I find out, like, who I am, what type of art I want to make, now I feel more confident on, like, the vision that I have for every type of film I want to make. And I feel like this type of industry is dangerous in a way if you let it soak you all in. You still have to be true to yourself, true to your voice, so that way you don't drown yourself on other people's voices. And once you find that and you hold on to that, it's so much easier knowing what is the next project and what's it going to be about. And I feel like, yeah, that's my voice. My voice is to do any type of art, any type of film that is about the triumph of the human spirit. If it doesn't bring anything positive to the world, I'm not making it. And that's when you know the people that you want to work with, and when to say no and be okay with it. And I feel like that's the most important thing I've learned so far being in this industry.
That's great stuff. That's great stuff. You just gave us a nice little class on I think what you said, you could have bottled up and you could have sold it for a course, but I appreciate you sharing that with our audience. My last question, I promise it's taking all the time. If someone is a up-and-coming filmmaker and they're inspired by your work, what would be wisdom that you would share with them to encourage them as they continue to create?
Wow. I will say to know your why. Start from there. Why you want to be a filmmaker, and be honest with yourself. Think about the one piece of advice that I got from Steve Harvey. It was an inspirational message that he said that made me want to make this film. Was whatever you do that's absolutely best with the least amount of effort, that's your gift. Go and follow your gift. Don't do it for the money. Do it because that's your gift. And the money will come, but at least you follow your passion. So if you want to be a director, be a director. Don't be anything else. If you want to be a writer, be a writer. If you want to be a cinematographer, be that cinematographer. Be the best of it. Don't try to do everything just because, people tell you to. No, you know what you're good at and stick to that. And once you're sticking to that, then you know what's your next step. It will just unfold. It will take time. But once you know that clarity as an artist, you know what's going to be the next step. You're just going to put it together like a little puzzle. And don't try to do it alone. This industry is about networking and creating your own team. So once you have that team that you can trust and you can work and you can relate, then you can go ahead and create a project. Because believe me, I try to do it on my own. It's 10 times harder. And then sometimes you have to go back, take a step back, and then look at your storyboard again. What is it that I wanted to do from the beginning? Sometimes that has to happen. In order for you to move 2 steps forward, sometimes you have to take a step back. And it's not something to be panicked about. Like, oh my God, I'm regressing instead of progressing. No, sometimes you have to. It's necessary. Because that's like a wake-up call for you as an artist, why you're making your art. That's the main thing. And once you have that, no matter what the outside voices say, you will always have that perseverance to go ahead and finish what you started. And then at the end, you're going to say, this I did. And like I said again, it's all about taking that leap of faith. And you came out of God. Don't try to do it without him. But I think that's the best piece of advice that I can say. And don't let anyone dim your light. You're here for a reason. And don't be afraid to turn your mess into your message.
Once again, you've been listening to I Am Refocused Radio and watching us online, talking to our guest, Lisetty Sandoval, award-winning filmmaker. Go to the film's website that we've been talking about earlier in the show. That's PenelopeStoryMovie.com. Hopefully we can have access to you in the future. I don't know how crazy big you're going to be, but I know you're going to be busy on the calendar.